welcome back to my crochet corner. And in this video I'm going to be doing a market breakdown video. So I'm going to be telling you guys what I brought, what sold, exactly what colors sold, and how much I sell them for. So I typically film market vlogs, so if you guys haven't seen the market vlog for this video, I definitely recommend go checking that out. But this is going to be the market breakdown, so basically all the aftermath, all the statistics of what sold, what and what didn't. So I know a lot of you guys like the market vlogs, but I know a lot of you also like just the sit down market breakdown, so you guys can just see what sold, what didn't, and all of that jazz. But if you guys are new here, hi, I'm Haley. I have a crochet small business. I sell online and in person. So I'm gonna just get straight into it and do my market breakdown. So the first category, I have everything written down on like a document here. So the first thing in my category is my small plushies. So my small plushies I typically either sell for $5, or if they're a little bit more complex, a little bit bigger, I sell them for $8. So the first thing in this category are my keychains. So I have a few here to share with you guys. And then I also have little bees, but those guys sold out. So for my keychains, I brought 5 octos, I brought 3 bees, I brought 2 likey frogs, and I have 1 peep left from Easter. So my bees are roughly the size of the octopus like head. So I had 3 bees, I sold all 3, and those were the only ones I sold. All the other ones are still here with me, but 3 out of the 11 keychains I brought sold, and all 3 bees sold. So if I do make bees again, most like keychains again, most likely only bees, just because I've never really brought keychains to markets before, and I've been bringing them recently, but I noticed that they honestly don't do too well for me, at least. So definitely if I do make them again, probably just bees, honestly, because those are the ones that typically do sell the best out of these guys. So that's that. Okay, so the next thing in this category, if I do have pictures, I will put them on the screen, but I did make mini mushrooms. So they're kind of like the OG like mushroom boys, but like tiny versions. And those guys, I made 2 floral ones. So the tops were with the blossom yarn, and then the bottom were colored. And then I brought a traditional red mushroom, white bottom spots, and I sold those for $5, and I sold all 3 of those. But if I do have photos, I'll try and put them up on the screen if I'm able to find some. But the next thing in this category are my mini turtles. So I brought them to a previous market, and they were pretty good hits there. But for this one, I brought 7 of these guys and only sold 2. But this is what they look like. They're just like mini little like sea turtles. And these guys are super cute. I sell these guys for $8 just because they take a little bit longer. But we sold 2 out of 7. And the good thing about like selling at like in person and online is that everybody online sees the things that I make, because obviously I share them online with all of you guys. So if they don't sell at the market, as soon as I put them online, people go and they grab and they get them. So I only have this turtle, so even though I only sold 2, this is the only one I have left because all the other ones have sold online. But yeah, so that is that for like the little mini turtles. So next up, I have my personal favorite, the chicken nugget. And guys, shockingly, at this market, everyone knew that they were nuggets. A few people thought they were peanuts, but almost everybody like knew or thought they were like chicken nuggets. I'm like, yeah, they are nuggets. And I brought 3, and unfortunately none of them sold, but they definitely did get like a lot of attention, which was honestly pretty good. But definitely these guys are little attention seekers. I put them in like a little red like basket, and they look really cute in there. But here, these guys, I was also selling these for $5, which I'm shocked that none of them sold. But chicken nugget, I feel like people probably don't know what to do with like a chicken nugget. I don't know, but I think they're cute. So the next one up in this category are the little mini cats. So I brought 10 of these, and I sold 8. So these are my mini cats. I sell them for $8. And these guys for like the colorways, I did all like natural colors, so like white, black, browns, tans, and then variations of those, and like speckled. Some of them are solid like this, some of them have spots on the face, some of them have different colored feet or different colored tails. I really like to do a large variety. Some of them I do X's for noses, and then whiskers. Some of them I do like noses and then I'll embroider whiskers. So I like to have a lot of fun with these little cats, and these guys were definitely a really good seller for me at markets. So here is to one of my best sellers, or yeah, one of the best sellers at the market were my little mini kittens. Next up, we have the pocket frog. So this is another new guy I've been bringing to my market. I sell these for $5. I brought a total of 10 of these guys, and I sold 3. So I brought 3 green ones and sold 1. I brought 2 mixed green. The mixed green that I used was the Big Twist Plush, like the green mix that they have, and I made 2 of those and sold 2. So I also brought other colors like pink, light blue, purple, aqua, but none of those sold. Only my green ones sold. So I sold 1 of these guys, and then I sold 2 mixed green. So out of the 10, I sold 3 of these guys, and I sold them at $5. Next up, we have my octos. So this is what they look like. These are just like my mini little octos. I sold these guys for $5. I brought a total of 26, and I sold 8 of these guys. I tried to bring them in tons of different colors. I also like to do them in variegated yarn as well. So I'll do a breakdown of what colors sold. So I sold 3 of the royal blue, 1 sage green, 1 purple like lilac, dark gray. I sold my rainbow one, and then I sold a raspberry kiss one, which is Bernette baby blanket. It's like a variated like pink and creamy color. I really love that yarn. But those were the 8 that I sold. So I sold 8 out of 26. I've recently noticed that octos honestly haven't been doing as well for me in my recent markets, which is a shocker because they used to be one of my best sellers, and they do still sell like here and there, but honestly I've noticed people haven't been like gravitating towards them as much. But here's to the octos. So the next and last thing in like my smallest category are axolotls, and I brought a total of 4. I don't have any with me, but I brought a green one, a blue, a pink, and a purple, and at my market I sold the green, blue, and pink. And so I sold 3 out of the 4, and I sold these guys for $8. These guys definitely were a little bit of like attention grabbers. People like for some reason really love the axolotls. I don't really know how axolotls got like big or trendy or whatever the case is, but people really do seem to like them. And I only had the purple one left over, but as soon as I put that up on my online shop, that one sold, so I don't have any to show you, but I think I do have photos of them. But I sold 3 out of the 4, and I sold those guys for $8. So we're moving out of like the smalls into like my medium, and this is where most of my plushies fall into this medium category. So my medium guys, I typically sell anywhere between typically like 12 and like 20, depending if how much work, all of that. You guys know, if you guys are crocheters, you guys know. But okay, the first thing in this category are my yellow chicks. So let me grab everything out of my basket and organize it, because I have them all in here, but let's do some organization real quick. Okay, so we're back. You can like get a sneak peek, but I brought 5 of these yellow chicks, and I brought the same exact one in white. And guys, shockingly, I did not sell a single chick/duck. This one's technically a duck. But within these 2 guys, there was a total of 6 of them. I was selling them for $12, and not a single one sold. Which, I've never brought these to a market, so I didn't know what to expect with these guys, but I personally really do like them, but I did not sell any at my market, which honestly it's a good no, I guess. Maybe people weren't vibing with these that day, not sure, but yeah, here's the little chickadee chicks/duck. Alright, the next one is continuing with the chicks, but These are the chicks that I used to make. So I brought this one in yellow, and I also brought a pink one, and the pink one did sell. I also sold these guys for 12, but these are the old chicks that I used to make until I converted and made these guys, which I personally prefer these guys, but for some reason this one sold, but like the pink one. So it's the same exact one, just in pink, and that one sold for 12. So okay, we're done with chicks. Now we're gonna move on to my pandas. So this is what they look like. I also sell these for 12. And another shocker, I did not sell a single panda. This was also my first time bringing them to a market. For this market in particular, I tried to bring a lot of new things that I typically don't bring, just to see how they do. So the panda was one of these guys that was a new addition, and I brought 3. I didn't sell any, which I was honestly kind of shocked about, but so now I still have 3 little pandas with me. So here's to panda. The next one kind of like caught me off guard with how good it sold, but my penguins. I brought 3 black and white penguins, and I brought like one like blue version of a penguin, and all 4 penguins sold. And they all sold pretty quickly, and those were also for 12. And on these, they sold out. Penguins were the only thing that I brought that sold out. I only had 4 of them, just because, once again, I never really brought these to a market, so I wasn't sure how they were going to do, and they did pretty good. So I will be making more of these for sure, definitely in the future for markets. But honestly, that honestly really did catch me off guard how the penguins sold, but pandas didn't. I thought that was interesting, you know. But next up, I have Mr. Pig. So I brought 3 of these guys, and I sold 1. The person who got the pig, as soon as they like I swear to you, like they locked eyes with the pig and like darted into my booth, grabbed the pig, and gave it to me. They're like, "Here, I want this." I was like, "Yeah, of course. Like, you can have it, like Mr. Pig." But yeah, so I sell these guys also for 12. A lot of my medium-sized things I sell for 12, but yeah, here's Mr. Pig. So I have 2 of these guys left. I sold 1, and that was for 12. So, Mr. Pig. Okay, the next thing in this little section I have is a guinea pig, and it looks similar to the pig. It looks similar to the pig almost, kind of like shape-wise, but the face was brown, the body was like off-white, and then the butt was back to brown. And I only had 1. I made it very last minute, and I sold it for 10. And the person who bought it got it because we're like, "Oh my god, like that looks just like my hamster. I'm gonna get it." And of course, like me, I'm not gonna tell them that it's actually not a hamster, and I actually made it with intentions of being a guinea pig. But they thought it was a hamster, so I was like, "Yeah, that hamster's so cute. Like, if it looks like your hamster, like definitely go for it, you know?" But I did make a guinea pig, and I sold it for 10. Next up, here is, I want to see if you guys are like facing the same issue here, but I actually didn't even grab one, but bees, guys. I did not sell a singular bee. My last 2 markets, I have not sold a single bee. So I brought 15 bees. I brought 3 of my honeybees. You can see they're like the darker one back there. I brought 3 honeybees, 7 light bees, 4 red and white, and 1 pink and black of like this standard like traditional like bee. I brought 15. Not a single one sold at this market or my last market. I don't know what's going on with the bees, but they have not been selling for me, which is really weird because they're typically one of my best sellers, and I haven't sold one at either 2 of my last markets, which is kind of scaring me, guys. I don't know what's happening there with the bees, but let me know. But I also saw these guys for 12. I also brought 2 sitting bees. I brought a light colored sitting bee, and I also brought a honey colored sitting bee, and none of those sold either. So I don't know what's going on with the bees, guys. I don't know if it's just me or if you guys are experiencing the same things. I think like the bee plushie was like one of the first like popular crochet plushies. So I feel like if someone now is into crochet, I feel like they already have a bee. And I probably feel like that's what's going on here, because I don't know what other explanation to say about that, but that's just so interesting to me. Next one I have is a chicken. Chickens are always such good staples to have. Chickens haven't been doing too hot for me, but at this market they did better than average. So I brought a total of 14 and I sold 6. So I sold 6 of these guys, so I'm going to give you the color breakdown because I like to make them in a few different colors. So I sold 1 white chicken, I sold 3 cream, I sold 1 black and white speckled, and I sold 1 purple. I also brought a gray chicken, a pink chicken, and a peacock blossom floral chicken. But out of 14, 6 chickens did sell. The cream, I brought 3 cream and sold 3 cream, so it looks like people really like the cream colored chickens. This one's white, but definitely I'm gonna make that a note that the cream chickens do pretty well. So that's also why I want to create this video, to let you guys know which colors did best for me, because obviously chickens, you can make them in so many different colors, but I just wanted to let you guys know which ones did best for me. But definitely the cream chickens did good for me. Next, we have the Mushroom Boys. These are the little classics, and these guys also haven't been doing too hot for me. At my last market, I didn't sell a singular one. At this market, I brought 14 and I sold 2. And I like to make these guys in all different colors. Like I brought red, purple, blues, pinks, aquas, rainbow. And out of all of those, I sold my blue mix one and I sold my light blue one. So out of all 14, I sold 2 like blue ones, which honestly Mushroom Boys used to do really good for me. And these are another plushie that used to be my bestseller and really aren't anymore. But here's the Mushroom Boy. I also did bring 1 jumbo version. I also saw the Mushroom Boys and the chickens for 12. I don't know if I mentioned that. But here's a normal Mushroom Boy, 12. I brought 1 jumbo one and I sold this guy for 20, but he's still with me. He did not sell. His friend did sell, so he was next to a mallard. I forgot to mention him in the duck section, but I did bring like a blue mallard. So let me show you. So this is mallard, and I made one that the top was light blue. Obviously I did white, and then the bottom was like dark blue, and I made that mallard. He sold for 20. But yeah, guys, I think that may have been, nope, we still have a few more things in this category. Okay, so let me put these guys away. So for the next section of my mediums, I brought like mini loaf cats. So here they are. They look like this. Guys, don't mind this guy. He was like one of the first ones I made, and I made his ears too far apart. I don't sell him. He sits on my shelf. But this is what they look like for the most part. So I brought 3 of these guys. I brought 2 white ones, and one had a black spot, and the other white one had an orange spot. And then I brought an orange one that had an orange multicolored spot. Wow, that was a mouthful to say. But I brought these guys. I brought 3 and sold 2. I sold the white one with the orange spot, and then I sold the orange colored one. And I sell these guys also for 12, and these are also good seller guys. Overall, I never brought cats to my markets, but I've been bringing them recently, and cats are definitely one of my best sellers at my markets recently. Next up, we have the dinos, and fun fact, a dino was the first thing that sold at my market. So the first person who bought something from me, they bought a dino and they bought an axolotl, and that was the first purchase of my market. Just wanted to throw that in there since we're talking about the dinos. But here are my regular size dinos. I brought 3 of these guys. I brought a light blue one with dark blue spikes. I brought this one, the red one with light blue spikes. And then I brought a purple one that had aqua colored stripes. And I sold these guys for 20. So I sold 2 out of the 3. I sold the light blue one and the purple one. I still have the red one with me. And then I also brought my jumbo one. And this one's coral with teal spikes. And this one didn't sell. I sold this one for 30. And it didn't sell, but it definitely grabbed people's attention. Just because it was like a giant like dino just sitting on a shelf, and I definitely think it did catch some people's attentions. But the dinos are still one of my very good sellers. I typically bring a lot more dinos than I brought, but one thing I did notice that red dinos don't do as good. My red dinos typically stick with me out of all the other colored ones, so I've stopped making red color dinos. I haven't made this one. I've had this one with me for a few markets now, but I've noticed that red dinos don't do as good as the other ones. Definitely my light blue dinos probably do the best, my light blue and my purple dinos. So, just a little note, at least for me, I've noticed that my red dinos don't do as good as any other color. So the last thing in like my medium plushy category is this boba, and I specifically made bobas for this market just because where this market was is an area where there are lots of boba shops, and the main audience of this market was also young adults, which is why some things I'm feeling didn't do as good just because the audience wasn't children. So when typically when you make plushies, typically your ideal audience is definitely children, because they just, what child doesn't love a good plushie? And for this market, I feel like some things didn't just do as good just because it's a different audience. So for this market, it was young adult, so they definitely didn't gravitate towards things that children would gravitate to quicker. So for this specific market, I brought 3 of these. I brought pink, blue, and purple, and I did sell the blue and the purple one, and I sold these guys at 20. These guys, like I said, I made these specifically for this market, and these were a really good attention grabber just because I mentioned those young adults. This area also has tons of boba shops, and I thought this was the perfect plushie to incorporate into my market. And I also do really want to find a mini boba pattern so that I can make mini ones, but I think these are so adorable, and these guys did pretty good like I expected. Okay, so we're gonna be entering my large plushie category now, and for some of these guys, the ones that sold, I don't have them, and I don't have spare ones, because typically for my large items, I like to make just one of each, just as kind of a staple piece. Because for my market, definitely check out my market vlog video so you can see the layout of my setup. But for this particular market, I did an L shape, and on the shorter side of the L, I had this table that had crates where all my big plushies were, and I definitely think it was a statement piece wall of plushies, just because when people would turn the corner and see my booth, they would see this giant wall of just all these huge intricate very detailed plushies, and it definitely draw people in. I really like to do that with my large plushies. I like to put them all together, and these crates are the ones that I bring to my market, so I like to stack them, organize them nice, and I like to have all my big plushies there as a statement piece, statement wall. And these are the plushies that were mainly in this area. So first we're gonna start off is I made a gray loaf cat that I sold for 15, and that one did sell. So you guys probably know the iconic loaf cat pattern that's going around, and I made that one in brunette baby blanket frosting, and it was the gray frosting color, that one. Next up, I had a purple jellyfish that I made out of Sweet Snuggles, and it was, the head was purple and the tentacles were purple, blue, and pink, I believe, and that one did sell, and I sold that one for 25. The next one in this category is this blue elephant. I was selling this one for 35. It did not sell, but I did bring a mini pink elephant. It was also last minute, so I don't have it noted here, but it was a really small little pink elephant, and I sold that one for 10. But this one here got lots of attention. People really loved the little flower crown that I added on the top. But this guy is definitely a good piece. It's honestly such a beautiful piece, and I really do love this elephant, but this one is still here with me. The next ones were shockers to me that these ones were still here, just because I brought these to my last market. I brought the orange one. Let me show you. I brought this orange one to my market, and it sold pretty quickly, and I think these are adorable, and I'm shocked that they did not sell. I was selling these guys for 25, and I'm honestly just so shocked that they didn't sell. But so I was selling these for 25 though. So the next item, I made a purple turtle that had a mint shell, and I was selling that one for 25. It did not sell at my market, but it did sell online, so I don't have it with me, so I'll make sure to insert a photo if I do have one. But I only brought one large turtle just because I ended up selling all the other ones online, and I didn't want to remake them, so I only ended up with one for my market. But it ended up people did like it. I'm not sure if people like the colorway of it. I thought the colorway was perfect. Like, I liked it, but a few people asked me if I had them in other colorways, and I was like, no. So I'm guessing people didn't like the colorway as much as I liked it, but that's okay. Okay, so the next item was a large purple cow. That one did not sell at my market, but it did sell online, so I don't have it here to show you guys it. But I'm pretty sure I was selling it for $40. I'll insert a picture. It was gorgeous. It was a white cow with purple accents, and it had these gorgeous purple eyes. The pattern in the eyes were from Ashland Crochets, but that was my favorite cow that I've ever made. And like I said, people keep an eye on what I make, so if it doesn't sell at my market, I put it online and people get it right away. And that's what happened with that cow. That cow was gorgeous. My favorite cow that I've ever made. So just wanted to put that in there. So next up we have these two mini cows, and I was selling these guys both for $25. Neither of them sold, which I feel like in general, I feel like the cows didn't get much recognition. I don't know, but I thought these guys were super cute. But they're both still with me. Selling them for $25, and yeah, I did a solid colored one and then one with spots. So those were these two that I brought. And next up is one that got a lot of attention, which was my Mr. Bear. So this bear was like at the end of my display, so like everybody saw him because he was just there like on the corner. But it's just the super like giant bear. He has like a little Tommy. But I was selling this guy for $45, so he did get a lot of attention. I guess a lot of people didn't like the price tag that came with him, and that's perfectly fine. But he was definitely another like attention like grabber. I don't know why I did that. But, yeah, this is Mr. Bear. Brought one of him. I've had him. I brought him to a few markets. I think that was my third market that I brought him to, and he still hasn't sold. But, I think he's adorable, and I don't mind him just sitting here on my shelf. I love him. He's super cute. But, the next one up, I have my jumbo bees. So this is what they look like. I brought 3 to my market. I brought yellow, blue, and pink. And I sold these for $16, and I did end up selling the pink one. I think it was the last thing to sell at my market before the closing hours came around. But so these guys for $16, I sold 1 out of the 3, which I was actually honestly, I was just happy to sell a bee because I haven't sold like a bee in so long. Like I sold a jumbo bee and I sold bee keychains, but I didn't sell any of like my normal bees, which was honestly kind of sad. But here's jumbo bee. So after that, the last 2 things I have to show you are like my staple, like my statement pieces that I brought because these are absolutely gorgeous. You can see them in the back right there. So let me grab them. Here's thing 1 and thing 2. So this is the mythical duo, and I have a dragon and a unicorn, and it was super sunny and hot at this market, and these ones have glitter eyes. So like the sun was shining on them. They look so pretty. Everybody fell in love with their eyes. Like they would see their eyes glowing. They would go up to them and be like, these are gorgeous. And these are definitely, look at them. These were definitely my most gorgeous pieces, statement pieces. I definitely think for every market, I think it's good to bring at least 1 or 2 like staple, like statement pieces to like help just like draw people into your booth, because they necessarily won't purchase them, but they're already in your booth, so they'll start looking around and seeing like what else you have there, and potentially that can always get you a sale. So I highly recommend having some like staple pieces and all of that just to help bring people into your booth and keep bringing people. And these guys definitely did it for me, especially this dragon. This dragon's actually literally gorgeous, and I love this dragon. But these guys, I think I was selling them for $60 or $65, so they did have a pretty big price tag to come with them, just because they did take me a long time and there were a lot of work and a lot of sewing as well. But here were my 2 little like statement pieces, but yeah, we'll just put those aside now. But that was everything that I brought to my market. That's everything that's sold, what prices, and also what colors of items sold as well. So I honestly hope this video was really helpful to give you guys insight of what my best sellers were. So at the end, my best sellers were definitely cats. Like honestly any type of cat, but definitely my mini cats that I sell for $8 were really good sellers. My penguins that I sold for $12 were really good, as well as the oxalotls. Those guys also did pretty good. And you know what, honestly the chickens also did kind of good as well. So those were probably definitely my top best sellers. Definitely things that didn't do as hot for me definitely were bees, mushrooms, and my mini turtles. Those guys didn't do as good for me, but overall it was a good market day. I definitely recommend checking out the market vlog if you actually want to see what went down, I guess, like at the market, and what, like, also like watching the market vlog, you're able to see what things were like purchased together or what items were like sold first and all of that. But definitely for like a recap, I'm from that market I did make around $559, which is honestly pretty good. I like had a brain fart right there, but yeah, I made around $559 total. That was not my profit, but that was total what I made that day at the market, and I was able to give you guys a breakdown of what sold, what didn't sell. Hopefully really helpful information. I know that definitely giving the colors of what sold definitely can be really helpful, just because for instance somebody can make chickens but then you wouldn't know what color. You can make chickens any color, so it's like helpful to know like what exactly like what colors did well for me. So I hope you guys were able to get some things from that. And definitely question of the day is comment down what your best sellers are, at least at the moment, because I personally feel like my best sellers are definitely changing. So I'm curious to see what your guys' best sellers are. Like I mentioned, mine are definitely cats at the moment. Those are like my top sellers right now. But yeah, definitely feel free to comment down below so I can see, because I'm curious. I'm trying to bring new things to my markets just because I've been realizing my demographic really isn't kids. So I need to figure out what like animals like are the young adults like vibing with. Like I don't know. They definitely do love the plushies. Young adults definitely do love plushies. I'm just, you know, trying to change things up just because I've noticed like my audience and things are not selling as well when the audience is different. So definitely let me know what your guys' thoughts are, and if you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you guys are not subscribed already, and I will catch you guys in the next video. So bye everyone.